Nobody expected Birmingham to matter this much. On paper, it was simply another stop on the grass court calendar. A warm-up event squeezed between the sport's bigger stages. The kind of tournament that attracts dedicated tennis fans but rarely captures the world's attention. Matches are played, results are recorded, and by the next morning most people have already moved on. But something felt different from the moment the gates opened at the Edgbaston Priory Club. Security was noticeably tighter. Additional personnel appeared around key entrances. Certain sections of the stands had been quietly restricted without explanation. Even tournament officials, people who had spent years navigating major sporting events, suddenly became unusually careful when answering even the simplest questions. The rumors began circulating before noon. At first, nobody took them seriously. Someone important was supposedly coming. Not for a public appearance. Not for a ceremony. Not for photographs. A private visit. The name whispered around the grounds was one that instantly sounded too unlikely to be true. Prince William. Most dismissed it immediately. Royal appearances happen at Wimbledon. They happen at Wembley. They do not happen at early round matches in Birmingham. At least, not usually. Yet the signs continued to accumulate. Restricted access points. Enhanced VIP procedures. Internal alerts that nobody would officially acknowledge, despite the fact that half the staff already seemed aware of them. Then, the motorcade arrived. No flashing lights. No public announcement. No fanfare. Just 3 dark vehicles pulling quietly into a private entrance behind the courts. Several individuals stepped out, and among them was the Prince of Wales. Calm. Unhurried. Dressed in a tailored dark suit. There was no media line waiting for him. No formal introduction. No carefully staged photo opportunity. He simply walked inside. Meanwhile, on Court 1, Alexandra Eala had no idea any of this was unfolding. She was focused entirely on the match ahead, lightly bouncing on her feet near the baseline, rotating her shoulders, testing her timing, preparing herself for another battle on grass. For her, it was just tennis. Nothing more. But around her, the atmosphere was beginning to shift. Spectators started glancing toward the VIP section. Phones appeared. Whispers spread. Within minutes, social media was flooded with the same question. Why is he here? Why this tournament? Why this match? And, perhaps most intriguingly, why her? Because this wasn't center court at Wimbledon. This wasn't a Grand Slam final. This was Birmingham. A quieter tournament. A smaller stage. Or at least that was what everyone had assumed. When the match began, Eala didn't rush to impose herself. She approached the opening games with patience, observing, calculating, testing angles and trajectories, reading her opponent's tendencies point by point. There was a striking fluidity to her movement on the grass. She wasn't forcing anything. She wasn't chasing spectacular winners. She was building, constructing points with intelligence and precision. Every shot seemed to serve a purpose. Every exchange revealed another layer of information. Then came a rally that changed the mood of the entire stadium. Forced deep behind the baseline, Eala stretched to retrieve a difficult shot, sending back a defensive reply that barely floated over the net. For a split second, it looked like the point was lost. Then everything changed. One explosive adjustment step. A quick move forward. A perfectly timed forehand struck cleanly down the line. Winner. The ball was gone before her opponent could react. The crowd erupted. Yet the most revealing reaction came from above. In the VIP box, Prince William leaned forward. His hands clasped together. His eyes fixed on the court. This wasn't polite attention. It wasn't ceremonial interest. He was genuinely engaged. Following every exchange, watching the match unfold with the concentration of someone who had become invested in the story developing before him. That kind of attention has a strange effect. It transforms the atmosphere. Once people realize someone important is watching closely, they begin watching more closely themselves. Suddenly, every point feels larger. Every moment carries additional weight. As the first set progressed, Eala continued to elevate her level. Her second serve gained depth and confidence. Her return position edged closer to the baseline. Her backhand began producing heavier, more penetrating shots that steadily pushed her opponent farther and farther behind the court. Nothing came easily. Every hold felt significant. Every game resembled a small battle being fought and won through patience, discipline, and relentless execution. And then came the moment that changed everything. Then came the rally that transformed the entire afternoon. More than 20 shots. The longest exchange of the match. Both players pushed to their physical limits, trading blows from corner to corner as the tension inside the stadium continued to build. Eala was forced into full defensive mode. 3 separate times her opponent attempted to finish the point. 3 separate times Eala refused to let it end. She sprinted across the baseline, slid on the grass, recovered her balance, and somehow found a way to send the ball back one more time. Then another. Then another. The crowd rose to its feet before the rally was even over. You could feel the anticipation. Thousands of people holding their breath, waiting for someone to blink first. And then Eala changed everything. A sharp cross-court forehand opened the court. She immediately surged forward. One quick sprint to the net. One perfectly timed volley. Winner. The ball landed just inside the line. The stadium exploded. But what happened next made the moment even bigger. Rather than cutting to celebrating fans, the broadcast cameras immediately turned toward the royal box. There sat Prince William. He didn't jump from his seat. He didn't make a grand gesture. He simply nodded once. Controlled. Measured. Authentic. It was the reaction of someone who had just witnessed excellence and didn't need words to acknowledge it. Within an hour, that image was everywhere. Across social media. Across sports broadcasts. Across headlines. A prince watching closely. A rising star commanding attention. And a tournament that suddenly felt much larger than anyone had anticipated. When match point finally arrived, it came without drama. No theatrics. No prolonged delay. Just one final opportunity. Eala stepped to the baseline. The stadium had fallen strangely quiet. The kind of silence that only appears when everyone senses a decisive moment approaching. She bounced the ball twice. Served wide. Her opponent's return landed short. Eala stepped forward. One swing. One clean strike. Forehand down the line. Winner. For the briefest moment, there was silence. Then came the roar. A wall of sound crashing through the stadium. Fans rose to their feet. Cameras rushed into position. Applause echoed from every corner of the venue. And in the middle of it all stood Alexandra Eala. Racket raised slightly. Breathing heavily. Composed. Not shocked. Not overwhelmed. Aware. Aware that this moment felt different from those that had come before it. High above the court, Prince William applauded. Not the polite applause expected at a public appearance. The genuine kind. The kind that comes naturally when appreciation overrides protocol. Even after the match ended, he remained seated for several moments, watching as Eala gathered her belongings and walked toward the tunnel. Observers noted that he said very little. Yet more than once, he looked back toward the court as though replaying the performance in his mind. Because what he had witnessed wasn't simply a victory. It was a statement. And as Eala disappeared down the tunnel, she didn't look intimidated by the attention surrounding her. She looked like someone who understood exactly what was happening. Someone who could feel the trajectory of her career changing beneath her feet. Someone who recognized that her matches were becoming more than results recorded on a draw sheet. They were becoming moments. Moments people would remember. Moments people would revisit. Moments that slowly build reputations and eventually shape legacies. But perhaps the most important thing is this. Remove the motorcade. Remove the royal box. Remove the headlines, the cameras, and the social media fascination. The performance still stands on its own. The tactical intelligence. The composure under pressure. The ability to raise her level at exactly the right moments. The confidence to attack when opportunities appeared. The calmness to handle the biggest points of the match. Those qualities demand attention regardless of who is watching. This is no longer a story about potential. It is no longer a story about promise. It is becoming a story about arrival. Most tennis careers develop gradually, year by year, surface by surface, tournament by tournament. Progress often happens quietly, almost invisibly, until one day a player suddenly appears deep in a major event, and everyone wonders where they came from. But occasionally a player moves faster than the normal timeline. Faster than rankings can explain. Faster than expectations can adjust. Faster than conventional wisdom can keep up with. That is where Alexandra Eala appears to be right now. Not because of one match. Not because of one afternoon. But because of a growing pattern that keeps attracting attention from places far beyond the usual tennis conversation. The fans noticed. The commentators noticed. The cameras noticed. And on a quiet afternoon at a grass court tournament that few people expected to matter, even a future king took notice. Alexandra Eala is no longer being watched the way young prospects are watched. Not with simple curiosity. Not with cautious optimism. She is beginning to be watched the way champions are watched. Closely. Carefully. And with the growing belief that whatever comes next may be something worth remembering.